Hey guys, breaking news story coming across my feed. I don't know if you can pull this up, Nick, but there's a video trending on the internet. Apparently executive order has just gone across the president's desk, and it was delivered by none other than a gentleman named David Sachs. Now there's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Crypto EO. We're going to be forming an internal working group to make America the world capital in crypto under your leadership.
Which is really going up, right?
Absolutely.
Here we go. Whoa. Look at this. What? He's using a Sharpie there to sign these executive orders? Oh, Sachs gets to keep the pen. There it is. An executive order. I love how he holds them up. It's so great. I wonder if Sachs gets to keep that.
They might not be excited, but we're going to make a lot of money for the country.
Thank you, sir.
And so is David.
Oh, your reaction, Chamath.
I think this is great.
So we're going to make crypto great again.
I'll be a little bit more specific. So I think that there are a handful of ideas that, if we can implement them correctly, are really revolutionary. I think that it's good to have a stockpile of crypto. I have less of an opinion on that. I think a set of stablecoin rails that makes payments instantaneous and costless is an enormous acceleration to GDP. It would cut fraud. And I think that David's going to go and figure that out. And he's
You're talking about stablecoins specifically?
Stablecoins. I mean, I talked about this at the beginning of the year as my sort of one of my predictions, but I do think that the United States stablecoin rails will be hugely disruptive and value added. He's going to have help from the head of the SEC and the head of Treasury to do it. I just think it's great. I think Sachs is already off to a hugely fast start.
The entire country knows that we need to win the AI race. The numbers are the numbers. You put up a chart like that, Thomas, and there's only one way for us to win, and that's to build more nuclear power plants. And so I think he's just got to hammer this through, and let's see who tries to stop it. I don't know if AOC or Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, Bernie Sanders, who wants to jump in front of this Trump train right now, but I think you'll get slaughtered. If only there was somebody who could comment on this executive order. That's what I need. You know, Chamath, if I had the bat phone, if I could call somebody,
who would you call,
phone
Jason?
A friend.
Who would you call?
I don't know. I had my Saxy Poo was always on speed dial. We used to hang in between. We'd have these great battles here on the pod. Then we go play chess together. We go have some drinks at the Battery. But, that was a different era. And, I don't got my boy anymore. He's busy.
Oh! Do we got
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning into the All In podcast. I'm your host, Jason Calacanis. We will see you next time. Bye.
Oh, sorry.
What? What?
There he is.
There
he is. He's back.
Back to reclaim his seat. It's
Welcome
yours.
home. We miss you, buddy.
You look so handsome.
I'm going to cry. 61 days without my bestie. We miss you, buddy.
Were you just in the Oval Office?
I was just in the Oval Office.
First time in the Oval Office? Let me ask you a question. Was that your first time in the Oval?
Well, technically it was my second, but...
On a recent episode of the All In podcast, Chamath dropped a bombshell that sent ripples across the stock market. Dollar-denominated stablecoins are positioned to take the financial world by storm, potentially overtaking established payment giants like Visa. Although not all details are disclosed yet, this bold proclamation sets the stage for an intriguing financial evolution with figures that command attention. Welcome back to Investocracy Crypto.
Again, the goal here is to identify and make recommendations that the departments would then take back and they could execute. And just, again, with the goal of making America the world capital of crypto, as the president said at Davos today.
And then the other two, Sachs?
Yeah, so that's crypto. Next one's AI. So the number one thing that EO does is rescind the Biden EO, which we talked about on this podcast, I don't know how many episodes ago, but remember it was this 100-page monstrosity of burdensome regulation. And the president had promised on the campaign trail to repeal that, and he did. So it got rescinded. Actually, there was a master EO on Monday that contained dozens of Biden-era EOs that got mass rescinded. This one provided a little bit more detail on it. It basically said that EO was unnecessarily burdensome. It said that we want to be the world leader in AI. In fact, it uses the word dominate. We want to basically have global dominance in AI. And similar to what we're doing on the crypto side, it directs the creation of an AI action plan. And that study will be led by 3 people: the National Security Advisor, who is Mike Waltz, the Director of the Office of Science and Technology Policy, who will be Michael Kratsios as soon as he's Senate confirmed. And then the third person is me. So the 3 of us are going to work together on this AI action plan. And the idea is to figure out what is it that the industry actually needs to make us number 1 globally in AI. So it's putting a little bit more substance behind like what this our role means.
And the last one is to build a science council. I don't know if everybody's familiar with that, so maybe you could just describe what that is generally for the audience.
Well, PCAST has been around for a long time. I mean, I think it's been around for decades. And the goal of PCAST is to assemble a group of top science and technology minds to provide the president with advice. So this was already announced, but basically me and Michael Kratsios, who I mentioned before, is going to be the director of OSTP. We're going to be co-chairing that. And this is an EO that provides the authorizing language to set that up. And then it provides some direction around what PCAST is going to do. I think some of the language that Freeberg may like is just, it talks about the need to return to kind of truth-telling in science and kind of getting away from woke science. The AI order discusses this as well. We don't want AI models to be ideologically biased, have an agenda. I don't know if it uses the word woke AI, but that's basically what it's talking about. We want AI models to be as politically unbiased as possible.
Well, if you need a recommendation for somebody for the council, I know somebody who is extremely well-versed on science. He's got a broad array of science knowledge.
Hear, hear.
Yeah, I have an idea. Then we could have 2 besties in and around the White House. Hey, well, thanks for including us in so many aspects of the weekend. And the audience really wants to know, what are the chances we get Sachs back on the pod now and again in 2025? And we do appreciate
we're doing it right now, right?
The sacrifice you're making. We're doing it right now, but
in the realm of finance, Chamath Palihapitiya is no stranger to making waves, and his recent assertions about stablecoins might just be the tsunami the financial world never saw coming. The numbers speak for themselves. By 2024's second quarter, stablecoins had facilitated an astounding 1.1 billion transactions, moving $8.5 trillion. Figures so staggering, they effortlessly dwarf the transaction volumes of Visa.
Well, first of all, it was completely consistent with everything the president had said during the campaign. And so you really felt like he has a mandate here because this is everything he said during the campaign. It reminded me a lot of, there's that famous quote by Abraham Lincoln that public sentiment is everything. With it, you can accomplish anything. Without it, you can't do anything. And it really felt like that inauguration speech was full of substance, but it was substance that the president had delivered on the campaign trail. And so when he won this victory where he not only won the presidency, he won the popular vote, he won 7 out of 7 swing states, he won the House, he won the Senate, it really feels like he has a mandate, and I think he reiterated that mandate in his speech. And then, of course, just the cherry on top is just that, the losers just have to sit there and listen to it.
Well, kudos to them for coming out and keeping the tradition, yeah.
Well, yeah, and when he's talking about the corrupt establishment that tried to put him in prison through this lawfare, I mean, he's talking about some of those people who are sitting behind him. I just thought it was remarkable, a remarkable moment.
Despite the increased regulatory scrutiny that digital assets are facing, Chamath envisions a future where the unique advantages of blockchain, coupled with stablecoins' prowess and cross-border settlements, will eventually win over even the staunchest skeptics. But before going any further, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. These videos take a lot of effort and time to make, so if you enjoyed them, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This goes a long way in helping us grow. That said, back to the video.
Do you want to take us back, Sachs, on how because you haven't talked about this publicly, but how did you end up, I guess, getting the offer for the role, deciding to take the role? Anything you want to share anecdotally on the path to get here?
I don't know that there's that much to report, I was helping with the transition and I got offered the role and decided to do it. So, I mean, look, it's not something I was expecting or planning, as you guys know. I didn't even know there was going to be such a role, but when they decided to create it and they offered it to me, and so I decided to do it. Just one thing I should clarify just to make clear is there's still some things I can't do yet in the role because there's a whole government ethics process that you have to go through. And I'm in the midst of that process. So we've signed these EOs. It's given me certain responsibilities and authorized me to do certain things. And that process is going to begin as soon as I complete this, I guess you call it onboarding. So just to be clear about that, there's things I can do. There's things I can't do. I can kind of be in listening mode. I can't be necessarily shaping policy yet. So that's all going to be worked through over the next couple of weeks.
All right, Sachs, I got to ask. First time in the Oval. What's going through your mind?
Yeah, great question.
My head was on a swivel, one of those moments. You're like, you can't really believe that you're there. It does feel a little bit like you're on a movie set. I mean, it's so famous, obviously, to be in
is
that
it bigger
office.
in person or is it smaller in person? What is it?
I thought it seemed about the right size. I know that one of the things people say about it is that it's smaller than you expect. I didn't feel like it was smaller, but it also didn't feel bigger. It felt like, the Oval Office that you've always seen. The other people who are in there who've been in there, the staffers who've been in there 100 or 1,000 times, it's obviously it wears off and it's like just where they do their work. But yeah.
In an era where financial agility and efficiency are of paramount importance, the ascension of stablecoins offers a tantalizing opportunity for investors seeking the next frontier in financial technology. The endorsement by financial luminary Chamath Palihapitiya signals a time ripe for potential growth and investment in this space. But are you ready to ride the wave? Share your thoughts. And finally, if you would like to know more about cryptocurrencies or specifically Bitcoin, go ahead and click on the next video on your screen. See you there.